Have you ever thought, I should just quit and create content full time? If I only had 1 year to make it happen. That was Harris Heller before he became a creator and entrepreneur. Now he owns Streambeats and Senpai Gaming. But before that, he actually quit twice. The story might shock you.
I was the only one in my family who didn't graduate college. It was expected that we went to college. It was expected that we graduated, and I did 5 years of college. And then I told my parents, like, hey, I don't think my degree is going to get me a job. I'm going to step away for a little bit. And you could see, you could hear the fear in my mom while she was still being supportive of, hey, we believe in you. You can do whatever you put your mind to. She asked me to be enrolled in one online course just so I didn't lose the school bug and get completely disconnected, because she knew if I left, I'd never go back. And I didn't. I'm always nervous to encourage people not to go to school because it does require a certain kind of person to succeed without it. You can't just sit around and I'm not going to go to school because it's a scam, so hopefully I'll sit around and make money. You have to be self-driven. You have to have a clear goal in mind. You have to be able to fail 100 times and get back up. The bottom line is school isn't the guarantee that it once was. The weighing the risks in my mind goes, you can always go back to school. There's no age deadline on going back and getting a degree, but there is an age deadline on when you can stop taking risks. And when you get married, when you have a family, when you get into your 30s, you have to start taking life seriously. And at that point, it's a lot harder to take risks, like dropping out of school and trying to be a content creator. I always wanted to play video games. My parents, again, being traditional, they wanted me to go outside. Video games were a waste of time. Stop doing it. My wife was the same way. Video games won't be in our home. They're a waste of time. They cause people to be violent, blah, 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 blah. It was like this thing that I'd been taught could never be a real part of my life, but was incubating in there. And I had this real love for it, but I'd never been able to pursue it. And so when I found Twitch and I saw all these people pursuing what they loved and succeeding, but then also recognizing that there was a massive hole of production quality and understanding the tech and cameras and microphones. Everyone was using their laptop webcam, a terrible webcam. They're using their headset microphone. And I'd been filming and producing music videos. I thought I can provide value here. And I saw an opportunity in an area that I loved, and it was fun to pursue.
Did you have a goal in mind of where you wanted to take this?
I don't know if anyone's ever asked me that. I don't know if I've ever asked myself that. I don't think there was. There's always a goal, but it wasn't not okay, this is step one of my 5-step plan to accomplish this thing. It was the goal of just trying to enjoy what I did and make money doing something that I care about. A lot of my motivation just comes from seeing patterns and opportunities and seeing that there was a hole that needed to be filled. And I happened to have, just out of sheer circumstance, I happened to have the exact skills needed to fulfill a gaping hole in the streaming ecosystem. And so I never knew it would lead to that much success. I had one video that popped off and started everything. And I was doing a second job at the time. I remember I posted it, and the next morning it had done 10 times the viewership that any other video I'd done had received. And then at the same time, it was translating to growth in subscribership. It wasn't just a viral video that didn't translate to anything. People were coming, people were commenting, people were subscribing, people were following my Twitch channel like crazy because I linked to my Twitch channel on it and said, hey, follow me on Twitch, blah, blah, blah. I think in one stream, I went from 10 viewers to 50 viewers and saying this is more than just a viral video. People are seeing something that they want. And I remember I went to my friend and I showed him the graph. I was like, hey, I got to jump on this. A couple months in, when the growth was still there, it was doing really well. And so fortunately I had an extra bit of revenue to play with this idea. I noticed I started cutting corners. And I did everything I could in editing, but I didn't like the tedious editing process of editing 2 videos a week. And I found myself realizing okay, if I film this really cool part of this video, it's going to take another 2 hours to edit. So I'm not going to film that. I'm going to simplify the video to make the video easier to edit so I can actually get some sleep tonight. And the numbers were starting to dip. And that's when I hired Sam, my first editor, and paid him more than the channel was making, because that's what it took to get him full time and to dedicate himself to it. He earned 100% of what the YouTube channel made, and I paid him a good chunk of what my Twitch channel was making, with just making sure I had enough to pay rent and living expenses and everything. And it was the best decision I'd ever made. Immediately, the channel picked back up because our video quality tripled overnight. I was able to put my time less into the putting together a video and how do I make a great video, and the creative decision behind it. If you can build yourself up so that failure doesn't destroy you, it only motivates you to try again, you'll succeed. Or at least you have a better chance of succeeding. No one's guaranteed success. I think there's been a lot of luck in every aspect of what I've done. But if you put yourself in the right place and you prepare yourself as much as you can, you'll have a better chance of taking advantage of those lucky opportunities. This year has been a year of getting back to enjoying what I do. We can have a vulnerable moment on this podcast. Is that all right? This last year hit me hard. This was a rough year. A lot of bad businesses snuck their way in that I can't talk about quite yet. But it's been a year of trying to take business to the next level and ignoring the things that I need. And there's been like a knot in my chest for like 8 months now that is probably taking a lot of time off my life. And so this year has been a year of, what do I really care about? What does Harris want? And what is Harris doing that he doesn't want? And how do I remove those things safely without making the rest of the house of cards crumble? I think the newest meta of content right now that I'm really excited about is YouTube. The meta of YouTube used to be making cool content, whether that's talking about gaming, whether that's filmmaking, whether that's gear, whatever it is, or cooking. I think the newest meta is being an interesting person and documenting that process. Polished works of art are that interesting. It's the ones that have the battle scars.
If you enjoyed that video, watch this one next. And if you want to go pro as a creator, join Pipeline to get the tools and knowledge to be a successful streamer. Just click the link in the description below.